I call upon the spirit of the owl, messenger of wisdom. Welcome to the Temple of the Owl. Merry meet, seekers of knowledge, for I am Matzal, your host. Here at the Temple of the Owl, located deep in the forests of Northern California. Today's episode, we're going to discuss handfastings. Now, this is where we talk about spirituality and magic on all levels, but it's through the perspective of a modern witch. As always, these are just ideas to help you think about things differently. Take the information and do what you want with it. I want to thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for listening on the KUAP Digital Broadcasting. That's the Troubled Minds Radio Network. Thank you, everyone on there, for supporting and listening to me. We're going to jump right into it. Today, we're talking about hand fasting. And these are really cool, the ceremonies. I've been to a few of them. And I just want to talk about some of the ideas and share ideas. And the reason why is because around this time of year, it's it's spring. It's nice outside. And there's lots of weddings. There's lots of hand fastings going on in this time of the year. So I wanted to kind of talk about this stuff and give you guys some ideas. So I like to start with what I call the MOD, or the message of the day. It's like a quote I find that helps me explain the topic. And today's quote this is a quote from Simone Signoret. And she said, "Chains do not hold a marriage together. It is threads, hundreds of tiny threads, which sew people together through the years." And I like this quote because it emphasizes the importance of strong bonds and shared experiences that truly bind two people together in a lasting relationship. So there's like rites and things like this that go into it. Some of these rites are older than stone and bone, where love is woven with ink and law, but with magic itself. The sky hangs low, painted in twilight's hush. The air hums, and the breath of unseen spirits. The sacred circle has been cast, its boundaries whispered into being by salt and flame, and its heart stands two souls, their hands outstretched, their eyes gleaming like twin moons in the dark. The priestess, cloaked in the silver of the moon, calls upon the old ones. She speaks in the tongue of the earth and ether, summoning the presence of the gods, the ancestors, and the wild things that watch from the trees. The fire crackles, the embers leaping as if dancing to her words. Silken cords are lifted, dyed in the hues of the elements, red for passion, green for growth, gold for the fire of the soul. With steady hands, she binds the lover's wrists, knotting their fates together with each whispered incantation. By air and flame, by root and sea, bound in love, so mote it be. The couple leans in, sealing their bond with breath and touch, with the promise of lifetimes yet to come. Around them the wind sighs in approval, the leaves tremble with knowing, and the final vow is spoken. The broom is laid before them. They leap, feet barely touching the earth, soaring together into the future, written in moonlight and magic. The circle is broken, but the spell remains. Love, once bound in the ways of old, shall never truly be undone. The handfasting is an ancient ritual that originated in Celtic and Norse traditions as a form of marriage or a ceremony. It was common in pre-Christian Europe and has been revived in modern paganism, especially among Wiccan and Druids. The term handfasting comes from the Old Norse word handfasta. It means to strike a bargain by joining hands. It was historically a binding agreement, often lasting a year and a day, after which the couple could choose to stay together or part ways. Today, in a spiritual wedding ritual, often performed by witches, druids, and other pagan clergy, and can be legally recognized in some places. The sacred space is created, often calling upon the elements earth, air, water, and fire. Depending on the tradition, the couple may call upon the gods, ancestors, or the nature spirits for blessings. In a handfasting ceremony, different gods and goddesses may be invoked, depending on the couple's spiritual path, tradition, or personal connection to deities. These are a few of them. In Celtic, we have Bridget. She's the goddess of fertility, poetry, healing, and the sacred flames, a protector of love and unions. We have Og, the goddess of love, beauty, and soulmates in Irish mythology. Danu, the mother goddess associated with abundance, protection, and divine blessings. Rhiannon is the Welsh goddess of love, loyalty, and sovereignty. In the Norse deities, we have Freya. She's the goddess of love, beauty, and magic. Frigg is the goddess of marriage, motherhood, and divine foresight. Now, Thor, a protector god, often invoked for strength and stability in relationships. In the Greek and Roman deities, we have, of course, Aphrodite, or Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, and desire. Hera, the goddess of marriage and commitment, the divine protector of weddings. Eros, which is Cupid, the god of passionate love and attraction. Here's some Egyptian deities. Isis, goddess of love, magic, and sacred unions. And she represents eternal devotion. Hathor, the goddess of love, fertility, and joy. Some other pagan and witchcraft traditions have the horned god, which is Cernos or Pan, represents the divine masculine, passion, and the circle of life. The triple goddess, invoked in the maiden, mother, and crone aspects for love, fertility, and wisdom. The couple's hands are symbolically bound with cords or ribbons, representing unity and commitment. The binding of hands in the central ritual in the handfasting ceremony, symbolizing the union of two souls, the intertwining of two lives, and the sacred nature of their commitment. This act is where the term handfasting originates, as the couple's hands are physically and spiritually fastened together with cords, ribbons, or even vines. The couple is literally tied together, representing their willingness to walk the same path. Many traditions view this as a fusion of divine masculine and feminine energies, though it applies to all unions. The knots in the cord serve as a reminder that the promises made are not easily undone. The colors, materials, and number of cords can be infused with magical significance. Traditionally, they cross their hands over one another, forming an infinity symbol, though some prefer palms together. The priestess, druid, or loved one wraps the cords in a pattern of 3, 6, or 9 hoops, numbers sacred in many mystical tradition. The cords are bound. Vows, blessings, and invocations are spoken. This could be a formal ritual, script, or spontaneous words from the heart. Some traditions require a knot to be tied, which represents the sealing of the vows, hence tying the knot. The bound hands may remain tied for a portion of the ceremony, or the couple may carefully slip them off, keeping the tied cord as a talisman for their love. Some of the types of cords and their meanings: silk or satin, elegance, smoothness, emotional depth. Hemp or jute twine, earthy energy, grounding, or natural love. Leather straps, strength, endurance, primal passion. Vines or flowers, the connection to nature, fertility, and growth. Cord colors and their magical correspondences. Red for passion, love, and desire. White for purity, new beginnings, and spiritual connection. Gold or yellow, prosperity, happiness, strength. Green for growth, fertility, and health. Blue for loyalty, wisdom, communication. And purple for spirituality, magic, and divine blessings. Black, protection, transformation, deep mystery. A single cord, a simple tie binding one wrist of each partner together. 3 separate strands tied in a braid or woven together before the ceremony. 4 cords representing earth, air, fire, and water, each infused with their own respective energy. Now, some couples choose to bind their hands for a year and a day, as the old Celtic tradition, symbolizing the trial period before a permanent union. Others may use handfasting as an engagement ritual before a legal wedding. For pagan or non-legal marriages, the ritual itself is the couple's true union, regardless of official documents. The couple exchanges vows, poetry, or spells, sometimes using sacred objects like candles, herbs, or crystals. Some ceremonies include jumping over the broomstick. It symbolizes a fresh start, a way of sweeping away old energy. The ceremony ends with a kiss, a shared drink, or anointing with sacred oils. In a handfasting ceremony, the exchange of vows and blessings are deeply personal and magical moment. Unlike traditional wedding vows, which follow standard formats, handfasting vows are often customized, reflecting the couple's beliefs, spiritual path, and unique love story. This part of the ceremony is more than just words. It's a spoken spell, a sacred contract woven with intention, emotion, and sometimes the energy of magical tools. Handfasting vows can be traditional or ancient, inspired by historical, pagan, Celtic, Norse, or Druid wedding blessings. Personal and intuitive, written by the couple to reflect their love, growth, and future together. The elements and natural, rooted in the 4 elements, or inspired by the cycles of nature. Spoken as an actual binding spell, or rhymed or chanted for power. Sometimes we could call upon the deities, ancestors, or spirits to witness and bless the union. Candles are used to represent passion, transformation, and the flame of eternal love. Some couples light a central unity candle together. Sometimes crystals are placed on the altar or held during the vows for added energy, like rose quartz for love and harmony, amethyst for spiritual connection, moonstone for new beginnings or emotional balance. Then sometimes we put herbs and flowers, incorporated for magical properties, on the altar. Lavender for devotion and peace, rose petals for romance and passion, sage for protection and wisdom. Up next, the chalice. The chalice of mead or wine is shared as a symbolic act of unity, love, and celebration. Sometimes a spoken blessing accompanies the first sip. Feathers, shells, or stones representing the elements, the couple may place them on the altar or exchange them as tokens. These are some traditional pagan vows inspired by ancient Celtic and Wiccan rites. Just some ideas for you guys. It goes, I take thee with hand and heart, to be my love and my light, bound not by chains, but by love freely given. As the moon to the ocean, as the oak to the earth, by fire and water, by land and sky, I pledge my love now and always, so long as the love shall last. These are some elemental vows. By the strength of earth, may our love be steady and unweaving. By the breath of air, may our words always be true and kind. By the fire of our passion, may our hearts burn brightly for one another. By the depth of water, may our love flow freely, forever renewed. Next is a witch's binding spell. With these words our souls intertwine, a love that stands the test of time. By sun and moon, by stars so bright, I pledge to love thee day and night. With sacred cord our hands are tied, bound in love, side by side. So mote it be. Another blessing from the efficient coven, it says, may the spirits bless this union. May the gods and goddesses watch over you. May your love be as wild as the storm and steady as the mountain. May this moment forward you walk as one. Then you seal the vows. Once the vows are spoken, the couple may kiss to seal the spell, pour wine or mead into the earth as an offering, or braid the final knot in their binding cord. Jump the Broom was to mark a new journey together. So handfasting is not just a wedding, it's a ritual of intention, magic, and devotion. The words spoken carry real energy. So each vow becomes a spell cast into the universe. Jumping the broom is the symbolic act performed at the end of the handfasting or wedding ceremony, signifying the couple's leap into their new life together. This tradition is deeply rooted in history and magic, often used to sweep away past negativity and bless the couple's path forward. Jumping the broom has been practiced in multiple cultures, including Celtic and pagan traditions. The ancient Celts used besoms or brooms in sacred rites, linking them to fertility, protection, and the union of opposites. In African and American traditions, the enslaved Africans in the U.S. often jumped the broom as a symbol of marriage when legal unions were not permitted. Today, many still honor this tradition as a powerful cultural and spiritual act. In the gypsy traditions, communities used broom jumping as a form of marriage, seen as a sacred act rather than a legal one. Across all of these traditions, the broom represents the sweeping away of old energy and the threshold into a new chapter of life. The broom or besom holds strong spiritual significance in witchcraft, sweeping away the negativity. The bristles clear out past energy, ensuring the couple starts their journey free of burdens. The act of leaping represents crossing into a new phase of life. In some traditions, the higher the couple jumps, the stronger and more fruitful their union is said to be. The broom itself is a symbol of duality, the masculine, the handle or the staff, and the feminine, the bristles, uniting to form a powerful magical tool. The broom may be anointed with oils, decorated with ribbons, herbs, or charms, and concentrated with a spell before the ritual. The broom is placed on the ground Often in front of the couple, they can summon or call upon their deities as they hold hands. Some traditions have friends, family, or coven members hold the broom slightly above the ground for an elevated leap. The couple counts down together and jumps in sync when given the signal. If the broom is held higher, the couple must jump high as possible, symbolizing their willingness to rise together through challenges. A cheer or blessing follows as they land, solidifying the spell of their new beginning. Many couples keep the broom as a sacred token of their love. Some hang it above the door for protection and continued blessings, or store it under their bed for fertility and harmony, or use it in future rituals, such as home blessings or anniversary handfasting renewals. Here's a poem you could say after. By hearth and home, by sky and sea, bound in love, so mote it be. With each step, let joy take flight. Leap forth in love, blessed by the light. Jumping the broom is not just an old custom. It's a powerful magical act, intention, and celebration. It represents a clean break from the past and a joyous step forward into a shared future relationship. Well, I want to know, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I've been to a couple of these handfasting wedding ceremonies, and I've been a part of some of them as a quarter callers for some of my friends. I've been to a few, and they're always really fun. They're always a good time had by everyone, and drinking and eating, and just like regular weddings, they're always fun to go to. I highly suggest, if you get a chance to go to one, that you go to one, or even write your own handfasting ceremony to do yourself. Well, I want to thank you guys for listening. Thank you for listening to Temple of the Owl on the Troubled Minds Radio Network, KUAP Digital Broadcasting. Release the spirit of the owl. You guys have a great day. Blessed be.
Science behind this ancient earth-based religion.